Hello, and I'm going to talk about how to write numbers in standard form. Standard form is a system of writing down very large or very small numbers easily. Standard form is written in the form of a times by 10 to the power of n. A is a number that is bigger than or equal to 1 but less than 10. N is the number of power that 10 is raised to. N is based on the powers of 10 that's used to express how big or small a number is. I'm going to go through with you the first question. Write 500,000 in standard form. Okay. First, we want to split the term up in a way where one of the terms can be written down as a power of 10. It can be condensed into a power of 10. So, for example, if you had 50, you would split that up into 5 multiplied by 10. But that 10 can be written as 10 to the power of 1. So you write 5 times by 10 to the power of 1 is equal to 50. The same with 500. 5 times by 10 to the power of 2. That's how you would want to write it in standard form. So in this case here, 500,000, you want to write it as 5 multiplied by 100,000. We've already got the 5 out of the way. That part has already been worked out. We can take that for our standard form. What we need to work out is the power, 100,000. What is that to the power of 10? How many times does 10 have to multiply by itself to get to 100,000? Some of you may have already worked this out already. 100,000 is 10 multiplied by itself 5 times. Therefore, 100,000 is 10 to the power of 5. So you'd write it like this. And that's your answer. That is 500,000 written in standard form. Let's move on to the next question. This time we're dealing with a decimal. You regard this as a very small number, but the process is still the same. The only difference is, because it's a negative number, the power of 10 will be a negative power. Because if 10 to the power of 1 is 10, anything lower would go into the negative, i.e. 10 to the power of minus 1 would equal 0.1. 10 to the power of minus 4 would equal 1 divided by 1,000, which is equal to 0.0001. As I'm going to showcase you, I can show you better than I can tell you. So again, here is the same process. We want to split it up, but we want to split up into a term. So we want to take the 15 out and leave it, and we want to do 15, and we want to multiply it by whatever is used to get to 0.15. That way we can put whatever multiplied by 15 We can condense that, we can convert that into a power of 10. So 15, 0.15 divided by 15 is equal to 0.01. But when you're working out the indices, in case what I said earlier before the question went over your head, or you might have needed visualization, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. 0.01, that is the same as 1 over 100. But again, what's 100? What is that to the power of 10? This is where the part where multiplying by a negative power of 10 is the same as dividing by the corresponding power of 10, as you will see. One over 100 is the same as writing it as, you'll see, just getting used to writing fractions in LibreOffice Writer. It's an alternative to Microsoft Word, in case you're wondering. So what's 100? 100 is 10 to the power of 2, right? So you'd write it like this. 10 to the power of 2. But again, we still need to represent it with the, because we are divided by the corresponding power of 10, this is the same way of us multiplying by a negative power. Therefore, 1 over 10 to the power of 2 is the same way as writing 10 to the power of minus 2. Therefore, 0.15 written in standard form is 15 multiplied by 10 to the power of minus 2. Let's move on to the next question. Find, open bracket, 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2, close bracket, multiplied by 3.5 multiplied by 10 to the power of 5 without using a calculator. Now, initially, when you look at this question, you might think, oh, bit of a tricky one, isn't it? How will I work this question out without a calculator? I'll show you how. 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2. We're just going to write out the question. It's always good to write out the question. That's a little tip. Helps you look at things in perspective. Always, every question you encounter in the exam, write down the question. Just the important parts. You don't write it down word for word. You write out the information you need. So i.e. here, what I'm writing out down is 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2 multiplied by 3.5 multiplied by 10 to the power of 5. That's the important information here. Now, what do these two brackets both have in common? They both have 10 to the power of something. So the first bracket, that has 10 to the power of 2. The second bracket, that has 10 to the power of 5. Now, if you see my video with simplifying expressions, here is similar. We collect the like terms, we arrange them together. So what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 multiplied by 3.5 in one bracket, and we're going to do 10 to the power of 2 multiplied by 10 to the power of 5. Now, we working out 3 multiplied by 3.5. You've got your 10.5 here. And here, the 10 to the power of 2 times by 10 to the power of 5. In case you don't know the rules of indices, when you're multiplying powers together, you wouldn't multiply 2 multiplied by 5. You add indices together. Therefore, 10 to the power of 2 multiplied by 10 to the power of 5 will be written this way. This is how you'd work it out. 2 plus 5. As you can see, I have fused the two indices together to get one answer. Therefore, 10 multiplied by 10.5 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2 plus 5 is 10 to the power of 7. However, we are not done yet. If you remember, I said standard form is written in the form of a multiplied by 10 to the power of n, where a is a number that is bigger than or equal to 1, but less than 10. Now, for this answer, 10.5 would be your a, but it's not less than 10, is it? Therefore, we would have to divide that by 10. But watch this. So 10.5 divided by 10 is equal to 1.05. But where do you think the 10 divided, what's divided by 10, where do you think that goes? It gets added on to here, to the indices here. Therefore, your answer written in standard form would be 1.05 multiplied by 10 to the power of 8. And there's your answer. Let's bring this next question up a bit closer. Let's move on to the next question. And last but not least, find open bracket 2.1 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3 divided by open bracket 7 multiplied by 10 to the power of 6 without using a calculator. Like I said in the previous question, it's always good to write down the question, just to put things into perspective. So we have a divide sign. Bingo. 7 divided by 7 multiplied by 10 to the power of 6. So just like how we did with the previous question when we were multiplying the two brackets together, this time we're dividing the two brackets together. The only difference is that we're dividing as opposed to multiplying, but the process is still the same. So you want to put the like terms together. 2.1 divided by 7 and you want to put divided by here also by 10. Oh, oops, sorry. Crap my neck. Divide basically the 10 to the power of 3 divided by 10 to the power of 6.